Corruption is a cancer, is a disease that deprives countries and people in countries of their rights, and also it drains countries of their economy. It misplaces the economy, and it creates problem for people in the country, deprive them of their rights. And I think if Africans fight corruption and they see that their economies are managed properly, there'll be a lot of peace because it will bless a lot more people.
Again, I'm still here on the project, building capacity around my mouth, but I got something to back it up. What do you think? Let's discuss it.
Corruption is a cancer, is a disease that deprives countries and people in countries of their rights, and also it drains countries of their economy. It misplaces the economy, and it creates problem for people in the country, deprive them of their rights. And I think if Africans fight corruption and they see that their economies are managed properly, there'll be a lot of peace because it will bless a lot more people.
Nakaba bayo la mosse radilo ya America paro c'est au ma encore une fidèle qui l'Amérique a pas loupé yo quand il va Sylvie il a quoi que j'ai vous fait presse l'Amérique a pas loupé tamo bien de moi egbe o nde asoma mo wa ba ti o mo ne wo mo tan die ta mu mu ni mo sa ba je fe mo di to Abela lokan yo. Kago so adulo. Hey. Awaye. Ati oro a. Yao. Abela lokan yo. Nibi to joba e. Nibi to number. Mati si mo pen yo. Manga Gigi. Ouais, t'es jamais forcé ou. Si tu connais, tu connais. L'animateur Choco, non, c'est quand il y a 5 de Toyebi. L'homme a tout fait pour Mivito. Aniché les deux.
Corruption is a cancer, is a disease that deprives countries and people in countries of their rights, and also it drains countries of their economy. It misplaces the economy, and it creates problem for people in the country, deprive them of their rights. And I think if Africans fight corruption and they see that their economies are managed properly, there'll be a lot of peace because it will bless a lot more people.
Good evening, folks. Samson to LeBron Pub Radio. I want to thank all of you again tonight for tuning in to LeBron Pub Radio. We appreciate it. You will appreciate your visit here. Please share this video to as many people as you can. It's very important that we have our own brothers and sisters here to discuss interesting thing that is happening in Liberia. I want to thank all of you again for visiting. We say thank you very much. Let's continue to discuss issue affecting our people. Let's continue to discuss issue affecting our brothers and sisters, Michael. Yeah, we're in again tonight, but we're here to have a discussion. As long as we're honest with you, that's what I think counts. Safety, Lord Jesus, we want to thank you again this evening. As we come out here again, my Lord, we ask that you take complete control of our thoughts. Whatever comes out of our mouth must be of a decent proposal. My Lord, please help us out. Help us out as we continue to discuss Liberia. We're human beings like any other person. We have hate. We have love. We're human beings like any other person. We have jealousy, envies all over us. But we ask you to please take complete control as we discuss the issue again tonight. My Lord, as we come before you again tonight, we put Liberia and the Liberian people in your hands. We ask, my Lord, there's so many things that are going on in our country. But because of you and the fact that we believe in you, we will go to sleep knowing that you were there to protect us. You're there to make sure things are right for our brothers and sisters. My Lord, we ask that you bless the President of the Republic of Liberia. Continue to guide him, guide his hand. Whatever he touches, my Lord, that a door be open for the Liberian people so that we all will be able to enjoy the fruit of his hard labor, the President Waka. My Lord, we come again tonight to ask that please help us, guide us, protect us, and thank you for your love. Thank you for the opportunity you give us. My Lord, we ask that the host country, the United States, be blessed as well. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, folks, I sent a link out. If you're able to join me, please do so. I will start the process here tonight. I'm not too sure if I want to go deep into the situation that is happening between Guinea and Liberia. I think I want to stay out of this conversation for now because the it's a national security issue. And I think it will be better for us not to put ourselves in front of national security folks. There's so many documents, so many information that is out there right now. But for me, I asked my colleagues yesterday to read, but I think when they come on tonight, most likely we'll try to escape or table this conversation until otherwise ordered, because these are national security issues. You can say something here that perhaps might be a slip of the tongue, or perhaps telling people what it national without you realizing. So we'll try to stay away from that topic tonight. I'll go on to the usual topic within the last month or so. Speaker Franti Kofa and the majority block issues. And now that we have had the executive had injected themselves without being invited, injected themselves into the conversation. And I think now the dynamic has changed. Things are becoming more interesting. A friend of mine called me today. You know, we also, we're friends, all of us, including Kofa, every one of us, we're good friends. So the guy called and he was very upset that even if you think Franti Kofa does not deserve your support anymore, why would you try to do that by sending the budget to the majority bloc when you know there's a conflict within the lawmaking body, within the lower house of the representatives? Why would you do that? And this young man were very upset, and that there are some things that he stated also. But from my perspective, like I stated before, yes, I said that yesterday, I will say again. I say again. If this thing is not done properly, this is the ticket for former president. We have to come back to power. Don't say it cannot be done. Donald Trump is getting ready to sit in the White House. Donald Trump is getting ready to sit in the White House. The president who was convicted is getting ready to sit in the White House. President Weah has not been convicted. If Unity Party wrap themselves around this whole thing, they would then open a floodgate for many people who have supported this government in the past, this Unity Party-led government during the campaign, but they were on the fence line. Because if this thing is not done right, one of the reasons why Unity Party people, without realizing that they were getting many independent and other political party members support, and they don't understand that. And they didn't care to understand it. And this is what I said, you will find out. Because the next election, if they have defeated, you will find those people, and they're young. That's when they will know. That's when they will know. Because when they won the election, usually when you do these things, from my perspective, when you win these kind of elections, you try to do some sort of a retrospect, to say what happened, how did we win the election? Examine the process so that perhaps you can pick up good lesson learned, bad lesson learned, so the bad lesson are not repeated, and the good lesson are replicated over and over. So at least you will be able to win the next election. But the party refused. They won the election, they started glorifying themselves. Some of them getting 2 positions, one in a party, one in the government, because they think they have won there. They think they have the mandate. They decided to put the president in the bubble. And once they put the president in the bubble, some of us are not able to reach the president anymore. Because of their mindset, the United Party people mindset, that they have won the election. And so they don't care anymore. They have gotten whatever they want. They have gotten a prize. Good. But it's only for 6 years. And that's why many of them continue to do what they do by enriching themselves very early, less than a year into the process. The floodgates started opening. And we're watching. But this is what I'm going to say about the Flanty Kofa. Not because Flanty Kofa is a friend. Yeah, he is indeed a friend. But it's not about that. It's about the rule of law in the Republic of Liberia. You know the sad thing about this thing here, many of these people, the sad, Victor, welcome, my brother. Thank you very much. The rule of law. Many of these people that are in the Unity Party that were jubilating a few months ago when they won the election. And here, many of them are now sidestepping the rule of law when it comes to the Flanty Kofa, Speaker Kofa situation. They were preaching rule of law months ago. And because of their preaching and because of their assertion that the past government were ignoring the rule of law, Liberians believe in them. And Liberians in droves accepted their explanation, accepted their conversation with the Liberian people, and decided that indeed we will support this government and we will give the election to this incoming government. And they did. But here's the sad thing from my perspective. It's not, let me say it again, it's not about Flanty Kofa, Speaker Kofa. He's a friend, but if he's removed tomorrow, Speaker Kofa will still do well. He's going to go down the street and ask for Kisara leave. Whatever he wants to eat until Flanty Kofa leaves this earth, he will eat it. Whatever he wants to do until he leaves the earth, he will do that. He got money, he's not broke. But it's about the rule of law. From that perspective, many of us are suggesting that if this thing is not done right, this is a meal ticket for President Weah to re-enter the political echelon. For President Weah to re-enter the headquarters of the executive marshal. You think that's joking thing? I think that's joking because many people, the way this budget issue was unfolded, many people are unhappy. It's going to take a while for this thing to settle. But then you say, Mr. Toof, so it's 4 or 5 years from now, Liberian will forget, yeah? But President Weah and his people, you know, CDC, they got muff and they can remember. Okay? President Weah and his people, the CDC, they got big mouth. Then they can remember, you're the elephant. They will remember this day and they will campaign and remind Liberians about this mishap and the abuse of the Constitution from this government. What will we say then? We'll do our best. Those of us that support this president and continue to support this president will be truthful. We will do our best, but we will do it with truthfulness. Nothing else. No, nothing, but we're not going to be shut of it. Okay? Paul, welcome, my brother. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Now, let me go back. The president, knowing fully well that he had the executive branch of the government of the Republic of Liberia, and there's an issue in the lawmaking body of the Republic of Liberia. You stay out, you stay out. You don't want to stay out, you do the right thing. If Flanty Kofa does not have the quorum, he's still the speaker. You send it to the law, the people, even in their own room, when you're submitting budget, when the speaker is in town, the speaker does not have a quorum. We agree, but that he's in section. So what are you doing, President Walker? Are you shopping around for quorum? Is that the new rule in town? We're going to disregard the Constitution. We'll shop for quorum. Quorum now supersede the Constitution mandate. They said, whenever you submit the budget, according to those of you that know the book, that the budget should be submitted to the officer in charge. Who you think when the speaker is in the building? Who's the officer in charge? Common sense. Who will be the officer in charge when the speaker is in the building? It's not even outside. I say in the building. You look for chief clerk to be the officer in charge. All the other time that you guys been submitting budget, you've always, what else Flanty Kofa alone in the building, you always submit it to the speaker. But this time around, first thing you did, United Party group, first thing you guys did was to go and scare what's his name, Mo Ali and Tyler, the two ministers, to go and test the water with a majority block. But that's besides the point. If what the executive have done, if it's right and it's within the confines of the Constitution, so be it. But here's the issue they have. Speaker Kofa is refusing to resign. He might not have the quorum. But the interesting thing, what the president and the executive have done, they have taken side. Completely, they have taken side. They have taken side. Money involved. So you have these people, because President Walker is quite aware of the money issue. Wherever the budget was going, that place was going to be the winning ticket. Let me bring in Jerry while I continue my talk. Jerry, thank you for joining me. Good evening. Thank you very much. So the president is quite aware. He's not novice. The president being thank you, Jerry. This president been in government for almost 40 some more years. He's not naive. He knew exactly what they were doing. But my understanding was, people that called me today, from higher up as well, that there are three people. I'm not going to call name yet, but there are three individuals that was able to convince the president to submit this budget to the majority bloc. And one of their reasons, according to the story from somebody big shot, I'll not call their name, but that they felt within themselves that Flanty Kofa was getting too powerful. That Flanty Kofa was getting too powerful, and that they needed to bring him down. The person word, not my word. The person also went out to speculate that from his information around Monrovia, that former President Weah was involved initially. But when he finds out that this was not just about Flanty Kofa, but that they wanted to weaken the power of CDC, but they will utilize Flanty Kofa to bring down the power, to weaken the power of CDC. That's when he decided, no, we're not going to go through that. But by that time, those, according to the story, those who were sedition that was already inside, they couldn't come out. Okay? Now, let's go back again. And then I'll bring in Jerry here. Jerry and I, we're going to do tonight, that bamboo will devour cola between my co-host and myself. That bamboo will devour your call. If I'm so then tonight, bamboo will devour cola, the only one here. Because we're very good at that. You're going to disagree with me, I will disagree with you. But anyhow, before I bring it in. So the issue is this. Now, Terry was on here, and Terry, since this beginning of this thing, Terry has been on point. And I don't blame this young man, because he just got by, he knows Liberian politics. And someone who's in God business, the politicians Sunday morning they come and confess to the pastor, then they say, "We're going, pastor, pray for me." So Terry is quite aware of Liberian politics. And he been saying this thing, but I will push him around. Also, I'm not just going to cowtail to Terry political far side and just cowtail to, I'm going to disagree. I'm going to push it around. But he been saying this thing. That is, these people, it is not about the rule of law, he said, Mr. Toh. This is about the money. These people are in there for the money. They're not in there for nothing else. And we saw that. What the budget is, that's what people are going to now. And he said that again yesterday. But for me, for the executive to do what it did, it's a little bit disheartening. Because I was on here campaigning. When I was campaigning for Flanty Kofa, one of the campaign statement, my talking point was, elect Flanty Kofa because Flanty Kofa will be the speaker who will work fully with the executive to make sure that the executive achieve their agenda. Because Flanty Kofa will work in the interest of the Liberian people. And he didn't disappoint. When he got in, anywhere the president was going, when the president asked, he would say, yes. It's not about CDC, it's about Liberia. And Flanty Kofa continued to work in the interest of the Liberian people. The president, you and Flanty Kofa was in Italy when the news broke. And you couldn't see reason. What is it in our budget that if you didn't have it passed this week, Liberia would drown? Mr. President, you got to do better than that. But here's the thing here, and I said it yesterday. If Flanty Kofa was to go to court and the court didn't disregard the money aspect of it, and the court refused to follow the majority black and those who are running to the majority black because they want to be on committee and want the money part of it, and the court decide to follow the rule of law, they would tell the majority black, cease all budgetary operation, whatever proceeding that you carry on, cease it until we know what is happening. And the Supreme Court will tell the executive that what you have done here, you have violated the rules, and you need to take your budget back and present it to the speaker. Let me bring in Jerry so he can vehemently disagree with me. Jerry, good evening. Thank you very much for joining me. Ma Esther, good evening. Thank you for joining us as well. Jerry, what's on your plate? What say you here with my Tabata?
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome back. The child from Biendoru. Delighted to be here. And I said it before. John Bear used to say the speaker is hanging on spider web. And time will come. There will be, I said there will be a lot of defection. 2 already crossed carpet. So we got our 42. We're going to 44 plus what's his name?
43, 45 now.
45 now. So you just need 4 more people. And before the weekend, everything will be over. If wishes will come true. That he wanted 49. The 49 will soon preside. So, but the interesting thing here is, look, all along I always say the rule of law. I'm not a fan of, I don't know him personally, but the rule of law prevails in our country. This is what we do. And I will go back to my article, what I wrote about fear the crime. Where there's no law, the country perish. And I understand the speaker position. Bring in the 49 people. Let's sit down here. And you're bringing 49 people, like his statement said. Oh, you'll bring 49. We'll find somebody to preside, and let's proceed with the law. That's what the law say. That's my position in the whole thing. Let's get a man due process of law. They accuse you. He cannot be the presiding officer. He cannot be the judge, arresting officer, and be the prosecutor. So that's the point. But politics is interesting. Politics is complicated. It's not 1 + 1 = 2. The same people who you eat in the bowl with tomorrow, they will throw you under the bus. It's lucrative. People are looking for lucrative position. You know, there's a money making. You as a chairperson on a committee, beside your salary, and most of them smart. And most of them smart. And most of them leave office, they always broke. Let me digress the conversation a little bit. Most of them leave office, they broke. But you're sitting alone. You can live for them in Liberia with our lifestyle. Hmm? So if you are sitting on the committee, do you know how much you're getting? How much you take home beside your salary? So, but the interesting thing I want us to take from here, we have to follow the rule of law in our country. The law must prevail. Despite we might have all our differences, you and myself, we in America here, the only guarantee that you and myself have is the rule of law. Look at the house you live in, for example. Anybody who watching in America, look at the house you live in. The kind of door that we have, sliding door, you go to bed in the night. In Liberia, you can live that kind of life. And the people throw rag, you might just go sleep outside. But it's a rule of law that follow it. And to make sure they will follow. If somebody break into your car, they will follow the rule of law. That's what they did. And we must give our judicial system credence in our country. Let's trust our judicial system. And when we begin to trust our judicial system, the country will move forward. But they themselves, the judicial system, we don't even trust our judicial system. So these are the things we need to fight about. It's frightening. But when it comes to the budget, the president, the politics, you see, I sent it to the presiding officer, period. So it left for you not to interpret it. And you might argue and say the presiding officer, but if you look at the presiding officer only presides when they are about to have election in the chamber where the House of Representatives will be able to select their speaker. Then the presiding officer presides, but once they are being elected, then the speaker take office. So you no more presiding officer. The presiding officer only presides within a short period of time. But that's what it is. The president do your wife, then he send the budget to the presiding officer, and the presiding officer, they decided that the majority decided that the budget have gone to them. And look what happened. They suspended two of the lawmakers from the minority bloc. So there we are. So hold on one second. Then let's turn it around. The speaker is still the speaker. Can he suspend those are the absentees who have not been going to work for the three members who have not been going to work by his interpretation of the law? Can he suspend the people who have not been going to work? So these are the questions. Why, sir?
Quite correct. Thank you, Jerry. I'm going to be speaking both sides of my mouth here tonight, which I'm very good at. I think the president, as usual, when we were campaigning here and telling the Liberian people this president has been in the office for almost 40 some more years, he had more experience. He has just demonstrated the weight of experience here again. Knowing fully well that many of these people do not have the spine, the willpower, spine to stand by themselves, but they do have the nose for the money. They are not in this thing. Even some of the people on Flandico side, they are not in it because of the rule of law. And President Baka noticed, he knows these things. And so here's what he have done from my perspective. And sometimes I say here, even though I don't agree with this process, but he's very brilliant. He and his people, they are very brilliant. It's like you go to fishing, okay? And you find a bunch of fish on this side. And you find 2 or 3 on that side. You say, okay, the fish I want, there are 2 or 3 on that side. But here's their friend over here. I will throw my how do you call it, lure on this side, and it will attract these people because they will smell the food they will be attracted and come. That's exactly what the president has done. They don't have 49, but they have the majority. But President Baka is quite aware that these people are not there for the interest of rule of law. They are there for themselves. But they are saying to the speaker, we're behind you, hoping that when the speaker wins, most of them will get these different positions. Or the speaker will feel sorry and then increase whatever allotment coming to them, whatever. You saw these people, how they were leaking about each other the last time. How the speaker got some $1 million, but before the end, he has spent more than twice as much. How the speaker told us that if people they can freak the minister there. I put 20 in there for us. When you get your money, you get our 20 back. So these people they don't have the spine for the people. They do not have the patriotic feeling within them. They are there for themselves. So the president may know who he is, the man who he is. He knows these people. But he said, okay, how do we get this thing to die down quick? So he threw the budget on the side that have the majority already. Okay? That budget now going to attract people from Franti Kofa's side. And before long, they will have the 49. And when they have the 49, most likely what's going to happen, then they will walk down to the Franti Kofa chamber. Franti Kofa not going to say, you're coming out, will suspend your first. He's not going to do it. And they will present their case. Knowing for the word that they have the 49. They will present their case. And Franti Kofa going to recuse himself, and appoint somebody to adjudicate the case. But they already have the 49. Franti Kofa will not say, okay, you'll bring the budget to me first before I accept. No. The budget will be the attracting force for those for the people to get the 49. However, with the brilliance of the president, as far as I'm concerned, to do what happened here, it is unconstitutional.
Oh no!
If the Supreme Court were to be invited, I'm surprised that up to this time, Franti Kofa had not gone to court. And one of the reasons I would say, perhaps the reason why Franti Kofa had not gone to court, who invite you here? I'm surprised that up to this time, you see, you're king, you hear the double, you hear. Perhaps the reason why. Yeah, yeah. Invite you here. Yeah. Can we mute the other side, Mr. So?
It's okay. No.
Okay. Thank you. So, with the brilliance of the president doing what he did here, for me, it's not constitutional. If the Supreme Court were to step in, his plan of trying to have this thing resolved quickly by throwing the meat, the red meat, to the majority bloc, that perhaps will, and not perhaps, but will most likely attract those who were not really ready for Franti Kofa. They're just there for the money. They will now go back to the majority bloc and get a 49. So I think, but if the Supreme Court was to come in, then that process will be thwarted by Supreme Court ruling to say we'll put a stay on the whole process. But Terry, I always say this, Terry, even though I don't agree with him, I don't believe what he's saying, but he owned it. The Supreme Court themselves, they also want money. So if they feel that President Baka have thrown the red meat that will attract the 49, they'll say, you'll do whatever you have, you'll try and resolve it by yourself. Because now they know that the budget is on with these people, and people are rushing over there to make the 49, which will resolve the issue very quickly. Let me bring in Mr. So. Mr. So, I'm surprised. 2 days in a row, and that's unusual. And so I want to welcome you on this wonderful network. where Jerry and I have been able to carry the weight of LPR from time to time. Why do people? No, I'm not CEO business. Kadabaka, whatever the name is. I'm not doing CEO business. I beg you. I don't want to play with you. Then I see. I say, Mr. So. So thank you for joining us. But at the same time, if you want to wear a CEO hat, then you have to thank Mr. Bagan and I for actually carrying on the duty of LPR. What's on your plate, sir?
So, what is the definition of what did you say? How you saying president is what? Smart?
Brilliant.
Brilliant?
Yes.
What is the definition of brilliant? You know, this is sad. You are another old man who is
Why do we have to be old? Why can't we be young people? Or why can't we be, people?
Can I make my point, please?
All right, make your point. Go ahead.
You're old man. I don't know what else you want me to tweet to. Are you a young?
Of course, I'm young. 45 years old.
Okay, that is not really important. But what is important, your dishonesty, your hypocrisy, and always want to be hinking like a guiding, is just bad. It's just bad because you are unable, you're either afraid of Jerry Bacon or you're afraid of your Unity Party friends to just speak the truth. You want to, this sort of games, we need to stop it. Liberia is not a laboratory place that people to be experimenting. From day one, I started here. This whole thing was orchestrated by Joseph Boyka by taking the speaker to this place here. And we started here. There's a need that this president will step in. And you were one of those here with Jerry Bacon. Oh, the president not know anything about it. Oh, the president is not knowing anything. And Jerry Bacon come here so proud here to misinterpret the rule, what the rule said. That's not what he said. You are interpreting the rule that is within Joseph Boyka, for which he has submitted this budget, which is also wrong, it's unconstitutional. Now, when the people are in section, the one you're talking about, the one you are making reference to, is the 10.25, right? Where they are not in section, that budget goes to the chief clerk. Now when the house is in section, who is the head of government? When communication comes to Liberia, who does it go to? Isn't that the president of the Republic of Liberia? They will send it to the vice president. Who communication goes to when it comes to the judiciary? Not the Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia. You are using financial violence to circumvent the laws of the country. But you know what? Samuel Doe said time trap is not one for enough for something. And he did it. He go to Sierra Leone now to go drink palm wine. That is okay. Kofa, you can carry them because you are making huge offers, and it's obvious. Because these people, the lack of morals, that's all they are about, eh? The DJ blew them. They're supposed to be playing music in the nightclub, but the Liberian board took them and make them representative. That's what happened. When you take people without good characters, you don't question them, and they take advantage of a society, or have to be facilitated by this liberal here, by not allowing people to have this conversation. You are one of those who was singing all of the songs here for Joseph Boyka. Experience. You're coming here this evening unbalanced, unstable in your own words. And how are you confessing? Jerry, you must say here tonight. By the time Jerry talk, the enemy is brilliant. What a hypocrisy. It's not going to be the end of it. We're going to see. And we're going to see what are the justice system we have in Liberia. It's a kangaroo 1-2 that would be Joseph Boyka will keep in his pocket. That's okay. And we know how money is playing in. And this is what I predicted this long time here, that this thing is being orchestrated, it's being moved by Joseph Boyka and the Unity Party wing. Give me a break. Give me a break. Jerry, why will you come here and tell us that the president, the speaker, is the speaker not working? They are in section. The speaker is in section. Why you guys there is strictly political, but you know, that country there is sad. But we shall see. We shall find out. So the Liberal can do his gaming attitude.
We shall meet in a need for sure. Bad and bad.
That's you're supposed to be ashamed to be singing that kind of song here. Yeah, it's in your favor. So then why all these complaints about the C, because you're no different from CDC. But you know, this is a very hard thing to talk about. But when you look at it again, there is no opposition. CDC too, for whatever reason, another social club.
Thank you.
I've never seen any party in Israel that will undermine its own speaker, or perhaps the only reason, and let me give me a chance, because you interrupted me. The only reason I see seditions lawmakers are doing that, perhaps they do not see fanatic Kofa as a sedition. And I probably want to agree with you, and I said that here before. George, we are to he another dumb because they just thought this thing was going to go in their favor, but Unity Party is just looking for a way to loot. Unity Party get a history of removing speaker. That's exactly what this old man has done again.
Thank you. This president of the Republic of Liberia, please let's refer to him as His Excellence, President Dr. Joseph Nyima Bakar. Jerry, thank you for joining us. I hope you are not listening. I don't think you are listening, but let's hear from you.
Yeah, did I hear the CEO say President Weah was dumb or something? I don't know.
No, he said John.
Oh, John?
Yeah.
I said dumb. I stand by my word because they don't have control over their people. If they can be, and I just let me get, because military want to. It's a common sense. Are you your party leader? And that's the only possible two things that come into mind is they don't see maybe Kofa as a true sedition. You remember I said before? Bafo Chimos, the fight against Kofa is so much huge. Bafo Chimos, the former speaker, believes in the past Kofa undermines him. So they put together a few seditions and say, hey, this guy is not doing. And then the worst thing to say for Kofa to say they're going to be a cleaning up of the mess from the Unity Party to George Weah left it, bring it back to Unity Party to add more garbage. And Kofa said he was going to clean it. Here we are now, and he thought they were going to go in there. You wait, you see what's going to happen to what his name, Fala. There will be a re-election. We're waiting to see.
Thank you.
That's why I was saying, Terry, because if he, as a former president, stand up there, if they can't tell their people to stand down, then he doesn't have control over the party. And Joseph Boyka, who also took this speaker to the Holy Land and created a political mutiny, and this was turned to a renegade, and he was unable to tell the people. He came back, he didn't even say a word. That's your business. That's your business. Why would you want to submit a budget to a clerk? That is a violation of the constitutions of the own rule. He knows that. But guess what? Like you said, Terry, it's politics. This old man just want to get away with a lot of things.
Thank you, Mr. So. Terry, let's hear from you, Chief.
Yeah, good afternoon and good evening to the panel and to everybody listening in Radio Land, Mr. Bakon, the liberal celebrity and CEO himself. However, we want to thank God for being back. However, the saga continues, and we really going to see a different shift now because of the budget. I think, in my opinion, the people going to focus on the budget, and Fonati Kofa going to begin to be history. He's going to begin to be just, somebody forgotten. So if I were him, I again would do the honorable thing to save myself and resign. I think Fonati shot himself in the leg, Mr. So, by trying to build himself sooner as possible to prepare himself for 2029. And you said something. If that thing you said prior to the election prior to JMB winning was true, you said, I think Fonati told President Weah he was behind President Weah for President Weah to concede.
Yeah.
So if that is true,
not to interrupt you, we were told it was Fonati that drafted out the statement by President Weah. Fanati and this guy, the former foreign minister Kimia. This is why you see all the other people resisted, and this is why Kimia, you see, he's still within the proximity of George Weah.
But that answers the reason why President Weah is lenient. That also answers the reason why Jefferson Kogi is not going to mobilize seditions to get on the street to protect Fanati's job. Because Fanati was supposed to be the one to strengthen the president and say, my man, you can take this thing that they're 20,000 votes. Let Ricky. Because that is what those guys wanted. But he was able to convince President Weah to let it go. Now President Weah let it go, and seeing him rising and seeing him trying to advocate for future 2029, it will not go down well. This is a political playing field. That is why I said, you know, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Because if Fanati wants to be president, he made me a conceded. Then he became speaker, contending with Buffer Chima. Buffer Chima accusing Fanati of being the one to let him down and, you know, to take a position. And we saw it happen in the House. So obviously, what you think CDC would do? So they will sit there and say, oh, so that what a man wanted me to concede. Then you see him flying up and down with the president. Then you're wondering why CDC is not in 100%. And all those guys, now look at what happening now. Zina Noma is a sedition. DJ Blue, I think, was supporting Jawia. These are people from the CDC camp that are going overboard. So you must understand that CDC is not in it with him. If CDC is not in it with you, the ruling party who's supposed to protect you, President Joseph Boakai, is not in it with you. Who will defend you? The court system is under the judiciary. That judge could have ruled in Fanati case and call for an injunction on the majority black, declaring them unconstitutional. But why he didn't do it? So we all know what is at stake here. That is why I look at all these things and say Fanati need to resign. Because if he continues to drag it, he will be disgraced more. And if he do not resign in the right time frame, and no people raise the number to get the 49, he will be the first speaker that will be removed on the foundation of allegation as corruption. That will not be looking good for him in 2029.
Thank you.
All the signs on the wall is pointing to him resigning as soon as possible.
Thank you. Jerry, let me come to you. What will be your contribution again?
You know, the CEO come here, try to castigate Mr. Boakai. What a man are you? I don't know. What part of Rhode Island you live?
Oh.
You know?
But Rhode Island, that Boakai town now?
Yeah, because, you know, I believe we're from Rhode Island, at least they got Riesling. But listen, you're trying to tell Mr. Boakai he's dishonest. Are you killing me? Are you kidding me? Oh, politics is at best in Liberia right now. Politics are the best.
Yeah, wow. This is
yes. If you are a good player, you wear good jersey. If you're not a good player right now, you be a spectator.
Not even on the bench.
No. The politics are at best. And if you experience, Boakai is bringing in the experience, you might not like what he's doing. But you know what? He's using his, okay, I will give it to you. Senior citizen. That's what when you old, you are wiser. Say he's using his experience. I will give it to you. Oh, he old. That's great. He's not denying he's not old. He's old. But yes, what I want you to do, the CDC that I know, or the CDC that I helped to create. But now, let me give you a little bit of history on CDC. They expel, what's the name? Todman, Geraldine Doe, Solo. When Solo was coming in, that's the time I left CDC because I never said Solo. Well, the last person that I worked on as a chairperson was Abba Toba. Abatoba was the last chairperson that I worked with. That was it. But CDC that I know, the current speaker for what he had done, but now they had threw him under the bus and say, you know what? You see you're not working in a conference with the CDC objective as a speaker. Terry, I'll give you credit to that. CDC might have threw him out, or they might have suspended him or expelled him from the party. Why they are not doing it?
1 second, gentlemen.
Because George Weah himself, the former president himself, he is not fan of the speaker. So you know what, speaker? Mr. Kofa, you on your own. He's saying on the battlefield, he's saying no bullet, he's getting no guns, he giving nothing, he giving no knife, you on your own. So the speaker, he fighting a battle by himself. He had not getting no support from the CDC. The CDC that I know, that I helped to form. The records are there. So, but here's the interesting thing I wanted to do. You see, the president is a smart man. Why? So what happened? They submitted a budget to the presiding officer. Where is he? He's out of the country. By the time he come back, it's moved. We'll be discussing something different.
Thank you.
He's very strategic. Where is he? What the press will be talking about right now, he's out of the country. And when he come back, they will be asking him, Mr. President, how was the trip in Freetown? So the budget business is under the bridge. We're starting a new page. So he's a very smart, intelligent man, very calculative when it comes to politics.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So you might not like it. That's why, you see, if you go to court, you might not like the decision of the court, but the law is there. That's the law. That's what Mr. Baka is playing the politics, the rule of the politics. That's what he applying. You might not like him, but that's the rules. He playing the rules. Why he didn't the Supreme Court say, you know what, we don't want to be involved into it? Because he had not reached over yet. And Kofa, the speaker himself, he's a lawyer. He know what the law said. Why he had not gone back to the court and say, well, the president sent the budget to the presiding officer? Why he have not done that yet?
I don't think he has reached that stage.
Oh,
Thank you. Thank you,
Well,
Jerry.
yeah, hold on. Yeah, give me 2 seconds, please.
You
Yeah,
got
now
1 minute.
when's the stage?
You got 1 minute.
When is the stage?
I said you got 1 minute.
Yeah? What stage? What stage are you talking about? It's already been sent to the majority block. Then you say, oh, it not reached the stage yet. When is it going to be? All evidence have been destroyed. Then that's the time he will go to the court and say, the court, I want you to intercept now. No.
But Jerry, you know he's a journalist. He's not a
You
lawyer.
have to destroy it.
Mr. So we'll come to you. We're not going to be jumping all over the place here. Jerry, you know he's not a security person. He's not a lawyer. He's a journalist. But let me throw this in here.
Let me say that. No, because every journalist you have to take or constitutional law as a journalist.
He has that in your back pocket already.
So that's it. Go ahead.
Thank you. But let me throw this here. Sources are telling me, the same person that told me today, telling me that indeed Uncle Sam is watching and they are sanction list. And I think before this is all over and settled, I think there will be some sanction coming from Uncle Sam. But let me come to you, Mr. So. Mr. So, why I do agree with some of your point, but to try to now not only staying within the confines of the Constitution, but that you try to make it feel like President Mbaka orchestrated this whole debacle here. That in fact he did it when he took the speaker to Vatican. And why would you think this president, the father of the nation, will be in a Holy Land with a gentleman who he believes he's working with, and allow people or he himself to instigate any of this. And so it just does not make no sense. We're talking about president. We're talking about somebody who is a father. We're talking about somebody who goes to church. We're talking about somebody who been in politics for 40 some more years. This president do not have it with him to be this cruel. Why would you try to do that to our president, Mr. Soul? So I think you will do us a good deal here if your political analysis, your whatever analysis process that you use, try to refine that and try to refrain from wrapping it around the
So
neck of the president and as much as you do,
let
Mr.
me
So.
let me refresh your memory because maybe your memory is kind of you lost in it a little bit. And Terry, I think if Terry have never provided any analysis here, he just kind of visualized it and put it in the context. What a minute. Who go to church? Isn't that the same old man who said that he was going to dance with the devil?
Mr.
Perhaps
So,
after
Mr.
dancing with
So,
the
why are
devil,
you?
hold
We're
on.
done with campaign. We're finished with campaign. Why are you bringing these things up as though the man is leading now? Let's talk about now. Forget about.
I'm just trying to serve a reminder of how we got to this point. This is the man who said, whatever it takes, he's going to dance with the devil. So my guess going to the Vatican that he was going for redemption, but instead of getting the redemption, he has added more of his devilry act to our country by orchestrating this sort of a political coup d'etat, and he never said anything. He said he was not going to interfere. Okay, what has come to the conclusion now for he to send a budget? After all, he even fell short of the time frame. That is a violation. But look, I'm going to tell Fanatic Kofi, you are a fake guy. You come here, you profess to be for Fanati, you want to be for Baika, you for Dillon, you for Nyongli. You just all over until you don't even know what you're looking for. You're confusing people on this network
Who,
here.
who, who,
The same
who
thing you did, give me a chance. The
are you
same thing you
talking
did with
about?
Tokyo.
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about you.
Oh, me. Okay.
Yeah. The same thing you did, Joseph Baker took they carry you to EFBC, they drove you from there, you're back here now, and you want to be doing the same thing. Come on, what are you talking about? What kind of church? Is that a church man who was saying that you are going to dance? Yeah, that's the devil. And you know, when you play with the devil and get what you get, so forget it. You're going to stay into that until God call you to rest. So look, Samson told, go all calm down. This is the work of Joseph Boyka and the Unity Party. And Terry put it into context. He explained it. They used the CDC because CDC, another people, all of them mess here. This guy here, this Jerry Bacon man, they're the same people that brought George Weah, created a mess, left George Weah, brought in Joseph Boyka. He is about to create another mess, and he thinks it's a good thing that he's doing. I'm telling all our honor Ava our honor this one here. You brought all of these headaches. You are one of those, you are one of the chief architects because you were mentoring George. We are here. At the end of the day, what happened, what not happened, now you start providing consultancy to Joseph Boyka, and this is what he's doing to our country.
Thank you. Terry, let me come back to you. This guy, there's no redeeming factor in Mr. So tonight, so I'm not going to even try anymore. Let him go ahead and go on with roller skating with his tabata. Let him go ahead. Terry, let me come back to you. What do you think this whole thing here? Oh, before that, let me just make the announcement. Last night, before we left, I was asking the panelists and my colleagues that when we're coming today, we are going to be discussing the national security issue with Guinea and Liberia. But I've changed my mind because I think it will be better for us to let this stay out of the footprint of our discussion part of it. It shouldn't make part of our, I mean, be part of our discussion because we're talking national security issue. And I think the folks that are leading this process are doing a good job. And let's just leave it now for now. The records are there. We will continue to copy these things, but to get on it right now, I think it is something. My opinion, and if you guys think it's something that we need to discuss because there are a lot of information out there that can be discussed, But I just feel that perhaps maybe we table the conversation for tonight.
That,
But let me
so
go.
then you receive
Because
a
of your
call from
opinion, you
NSA.
want to deprive because of your own personal perception, what you think is right. You want to deprive Liberia. You see, this is the kind of thing that you people do.
Mr. So, I'm going to Terry. Your time is out. Your time is out. Terry, that's just my own feeling. And but if the platform decided that yes, indeed, it's okay for us to discuss it, we'll discuss it because I think many of you have read it, the article, and in fact, that decision, final decision, we will make reference to our co-host who happen to be the expert, the security procedures here on LPR, and he will guide us in that process. But let me come to you before I go to the security expert who is here on LPR to guide our process. Let me come to you, Terry, before we close on the Frantic Kofa thing. You know, I was saying it before you came on. I was just telling you, maybe people would tell you. I don't agree with many things. Everything you say, I don't agree with it, but you're on point. You are on point. And I was saying earlier, maybe I was being ridiculous when I said the fact that you're a pastor and was in Liberia. So many of the politicians will come to pastor, and oh, pastor, pray for me. But they say, what's going on? Right? And so you are an insider, and you're speaking from not from the prophetic inside trade,
Oh no, no.
but you are speaking
Don't,
as
don't
somebody
bring a
who
prophetic inside.
somebody who have a clear knowledge of these people, because you keep saying these people are not in it for the rule of law. They are in it for themselves and they are in it for the money. And this is what we're saying here. What do you think will be the next step here or next shoe to drop here that we can hold on to, and then we can go to Jerry to guide us on this security conversation part. Give us the closing on that one, Terry.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of things, and I just want to clarify. I'm not using prophetic gift. I'm just using analysis from my own view of the politics in Liberia. However, one of the things that really surprised me in the whole thing when Zina switched today, then I already knew that it was a CDC playbook because Zina Norma is Nathaniel McGill's brother from mine. All right. So he must have gotten advice from his big brother because his big brother is just in the Senate. That my man, this is going down. There's a place that the decision reached now is no going back. So, and that is what Zina cannot make that decision unilaterally. I don't think so. All right. It's coming from a higher up. It's a political decision CDC is taking. And for whatever reason they're doing that, we will see it in the coming month, 1 or 2 months from now when Honorable Fanatic. The only thing I hope to see the honorable man do the honorable thing before this thing escalates. He should now know, and I want to believe that this is one of the reasons why he's not going to the court, because he knows that this is done. Because he knows that if I go to the court, let's say the court rule that yeah, these people should not do, because the court is not going to raise an injunction and declare those people unconstitutional because they did not do it before. I doubt they would do it. So, but he thinking, lawyers advising him, or maybe if you take this into the court and the court rule in this manner, it's still going to fall on you. So the best thing, and is like the teeth shaking. Your people that you got, that you're supposed to have control over, they're leaving from your camp. They're going to the other camp. Think about what may happen a few days from now. Will other people leave? So he's taking all of that into consideration, that if I go to the court, who will stand with me to fight with me when everybody going to where the money is? So what is the essence of me even going to the court? So that is why I said the next step of action that I'm looking forward to is for the honorable man to do the needful, to send in a resignation. That's the only thing I can think about. Because if you continue to drag this thing, it will continue to go back. It will continue to fall back on him. But I meant to ask you whether if you receive whether Grace P called you and told you that this is a security issue and you shouldn't discuss it because you were very on it last night. So
This man is compromised.
Oh, you muted.
No, there was an article, another additional article that I read, and from that article, it seemed like Guinea is not playing around, and it's not just now. 2022, Guinea started taking Liberian flag down and throwing Guinean army
Yeah,
to
our
go to
really
the
some
border
scary
and to
things.
take Liberian flag down, throw it away, throw it on the ground. So these people are inching for something. But let me come to Jerry. What do you make of my uh, reason to postpone? Is it you think is that something that is not necessary? We should go ahead and have a discussion.
Well, yes and no. But let me come to the speaker first.
Okay.
Let me throw a light on the speaker.
Yeah, yeah, well, yeah. You're supposed to close this show anyway. You're supposed to close that one on it anyway. You are
But
the leading
the
voice here.
speaker, you see, what we do in life, we have the two or three things that involve in mankind life. We have our political career. You have your moral, then you have your family. If you go to work, you might have the opportunity to do something. And you start thinking, gee, if I do this, what would my wife say? What would my children say? You might have the opportunity to see. Some people don't look at it that way, but some people moral, as a man with moral or character, first thing is that you start thinking, what are my family? And I don't know whether he had children in Liberia, but I know
Oh,
he's a married.
wow.
Mr. So,
Hold
Mr.
on,
So,
man. So
Mr. So, we are not here for popularity contest. If you want popularity contact, invite your buddy and you guys can have that. This is a serious conversation that we are having here tonight. And I'm speaking not as a host, but a bull.
so there are certain decisions we make in
Thank
life.
you. Go ahead,
There's
Jerry.
there are certain decisions we make in life. It's not about you. It's something about your family, the integrity of your family, or the integrity of he obeyed his legacy.
Is he frozen? Okay, I thought Mr. So was frozen. Go ahead, Jerry. Wrap it up for us.
Please.
He obeyed his legacy. He obeyed his legacy as a speaker. Okay, and he had worked in politics to be the third person in command. But at the
Thank
same
you.
time, he a family man,
Thank you.
and
Thank you, Jerry.
all the team play on you. What
You're
would my
right.
children be? You know, rather as to speak, maybe his children are watching it,
Yes.
hmm? Or his daughter are watching it, or his son are watching it, or his wife is watching it. Probably he himself might be watching it. So all come to Mr. Kofa himself. How long am I going to drag my family into this? Or how long am I going to do this? Or
Thank you, Jerry.
can I
Yeah,
get some
Glenn. Oh,
second?
yeah, please go ahead.
And am I doing this as an advocate to make sure that law and procedure is followed in this country? So all these things he had to put it in a context and make a fun decision for him. And I know he will have a talk with his wife and what's going on. So he might make a political sense and say, yes, I am advocating, and this is not going to happen in Liberia anymore. And this is not going to happen. Or I'm going to take it to the court, and the court now it become a law in our country. It become a, so personally, to me though, these are things the speaker have to start thinking. He want to be as a somebody who going to fight for the rule of law. At the same time, as a family man, and start thinking about his family. How would I want to drag my family into this? So I think by now he will have a complete consultation with his family to make a decision because the tide is getting harder every day. We got 2 defected already. Maybe before the weekend, we probably will have another 3 or 4 defected, like Terry said. And so, what are you going to do? You're going to resign, or you're going to go to stay there for them to do the procedural law, and they say, okay, we'll throw you out of the speakership, which is, I mean, nothing wrong with it. That's what the law is all about.
Thank
Nothing
you.
wrong with it.
Thank you. So, Jared, as you correctly stated here, I just want to give an example on that. And that is, I got my soup here that, made out of, what. So, my microwave, we had some visitor here over the weekend. My microwave, after they left, my microwave broke. It's one of those microwave that in the cover and whatever they that are in the gas stick. So you can't just fill away. You got to take everything out. So I took it out, and I have to replace the pot. But the store is way down south. So today we went out in a field, and I thought to myself, it's a company car. Let me go get my pot. Then I thought to myself, why if I go get past somebody see the company car in front of the pot store? Let me go on. Right now as we speak, I don't even sue you. Hey, I don't have my wait. But this is what we're talking about. Integrity. I have integrity. Because of my integrity, I can't even sue right now. So that's integrity. Integrity when people are not looking what decision you make. Let me come to you now, Jerry. What do you think about the security issue? Do we discuss it or not?
Well, on the security issue, first of all, we are not heard anything from the Ministry of Justice or for the Minister of Justice. We are not heard anything from the court. I think they were supposed to go to court today to present the corporate deleter, which is the battle evidence. That's the word, corporate deleter, which is the battle evidence. It's supposed to be produced to the court today, and there's nothing that happened. But here's my concern. And it is time for our government to really look at security in the 21st century. And if you look to the west, to the east, to the east, the entire Civil War came from the east all the way to Liberia. And up to this time, we are not strengthened. There's no lesson I've learned to put our resources. The only time we have the issue from the west was who came from Sierra Leone to Liberia. But most of if you really look at our history, the coup that happened, all the military, all these people that were trained, they came through from the east of Liberia, southeast. But if you listen, go back. I want you to our people that listen to Senator Johnson, a TRC testimony, how they enter in that place there. Up to this time, the border up to this time. I talk about now, that place would be in readiness to respond to any other obstacle that will be coming to our country. And up to this time, it's still open. What is the lesson that I learned from our area?
So Jerry, are we getting into the discussion now?
I mean, he asked me to give some analysis. I just gave him the analysis.
No, I was wondering, what do you think? Do we get into it? Because it's a national security issue. But anyway, let's open it up. Thank you for your brief analysis over there, security expert. We'll come to you and let those of us that have no experience in our area, let us talk about Tabata, including the CEO, who will come in and talk about things, and sooner or later you'll try to wrap it around this government, and then you will come and disabuse him and perhaps educate all of us. So sit tight, Jerry. Let me come to you.
So the people have said the whole thing.
Yeah. Let me come to you, Terry. Perhaps you're the one that sent the thing in the chat room. You know, there are other articles since that time that come out about the same issue here, and I know most likely you probably been following. What do you make of that article?
Well, I think, you see, first of all, we got to know what's Rwanda's CA position. Rwanda's CA is actually against the government, because that is how Rwanda's CA also makes his money, to write stories. He become antagonistic from the beginning, and later on they get back kicks and cuts and all that. So I don't think that his story is bad or wrong, but most of the time he presents his story mostly with a negative impression on the government. But if what he's writing is true, I think Liberia stand at a risk of losing her ability to protect herself. Liberia seems to be afraid. We have a fragile bordering system in the country. So, because Guinea does not have legitimate right on our soil to take anybody from here, and our reading the ECOWAS treaty agreement that prohibits anybody who have been accused of involving into political operations in another country from being persecuted, from being extradited, if that country knows very well that that particular person will be killed or will be tortured. So there is already an ECOWAS treaty agreement from what I read in that information. So this being said, I was also reading about what you were talking about in Kwanu Bone, Lofa County. I know that place because I went there. How that these guys from Guinea are terrorizing the citizens in that area, and people are getting afraid and trying to evacuate. But the thing here is that Guinea does not have the right to do that. They do not have the right to do that. So they are infringing on the rights of our soil, which is completely wrong. They're not supposed to do that. But whether if this government is prepared to take the necessary actions, I don't think so. And I think that if we're having these kind of national issues and the president is leaving to go to Sierra Leone, I don't know for what for. I think that is a poor position of the president. He's supposed to be in his country to make sure that the safety of his people is firstly guaranteed. Because if we're hearing that old people are in your border, especially Lofa County, Columbone is in Lofa County, where the president is from, and the citizens are being terrorized, and people, nobody is discussing it. The president leave the country, he goes sit down somewhere. Who is addressing the issue? We don't know. I think it was poor. I really don't know what the president going to Sierra Leone for. I've been seeing something on Facebook, but I don't understand what they're doing. But I think this is the time that the president needs to be able to arrest the situation and deal with it appropriately. If it calls for us to deploy manpower at the border to get these people off, and I'm hearing that people were giving to Guinea. How can you somebody just come with airplane and land on your soil, and you take your people and give them to the people and they carry them? Because they appear as to be a junta group of people and military. Liberia have a history of war. You can't appear before your nearby country as you're feeble. They will take advantage of you. So what you get the military people for? They just sitting there in a barrack protesting. That all they can do, just the women and just protest. So if you have men that are trained for war, you have to put up some kind of resistance to show your neighboring country that, hey, this is a sovereign state. This is an independent nation. You don't have the right to come on our soil and demand people. You don't. And if the president is not putting all that posture, then something serious is wrong with our country.
Thank you. Let me go to Mr. So. Mr. So, according to the article, 6 commandos of Guinea's army and a private jet and landed at night, Rawafia International Airport. And according to the story, Liberian army that stationed at the Rawafia International Airport took position, but they quickly realized that they do not have, according to the story, do not have the manpower, and so they acquiesced. They give in, and the commandos were able to strike this young man through Rawafia International Airport. Another example that Guinea has been doing it. They try to continue to bully. They did the similar situation in Sierra Leone. Bully they brought up resident of Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone pushed back, and there's a standstill. Now they're going into the border residents of Guinea and Liberia, and they're creating havoc. But again, according to the story, the security apparatus of the Republic of Liberia decided that it's better to give in to Guinean demand than it is to do a stand-up. Where are we on this here? I know you've probably been reading this thing. Where are we? And this time around, I will open it up for you to tell us whose responsibility is it.
Who else?
Can you guess a little bit, or can you beat around the bush a little bit?
I don't have to beat around any bush. I'm not like you because, and this is a problem. You guys have a size, so it is very difficult. So what you're trying to do now is to manage crisis that cannot be managed. But let me digress here a little bit here with this whole budget thing to bring most to Jerry back on and you because he's still unstable with this whole thing. The PFM Act of 2029, it is crystal clear. It is clear. It's written. It's a law that the president should present his budget to the legislature. Who is the heir? Is the speaker. Unless the speaker authorizes the deputy speaker in absence. If there's no sections, then it goes to the clerk. In this case, they are still in section. But to come back to the point, it's another classical neglect and lack of leadership by this president. You have foreign soldiers on your soil, in your county, in your backyard, commandos, in high military gear, well properly armed, and you're going to Sierra Leone. But Terry said, it's a recipe to overthrow yourself when you should be in charge as a commander-in-chief to monitor what is happening, to reassure the nation, your country. Yes, Guineans or whatever come in, but your government is in charge. They are communicating with their partners and maybe ECOWAS involved. But where are we? You left your citizens vulnerable. So when it becomes a chaotic situation, then you seek political asylum there, and then you left your people in hellfire because you will not come back. And Guinea knows that Liberia does not have the equipment to stand before her. And that's why they're doing that nonsense. That it just walk. And all it is what this government came in to do. There are protocols. Like Terry said, you don't just turn people over to when these people are at risk. Some of you left Everson, but for some of us who went through hell, you left your country because of fear of either prosecutions of different reasons. Can you imagine? You get to Cote d'Ivoire border or Sierra Leone border, and they say, no, we carry you back and turn you over to those people. What happens? You forfeit your life. This president again has demonstrated of he not being in charge. Someone is either conducting the affairs of our country, with he being the ceremonial head. I'm sorry to say there's no way that I can edit what I'm saying, but no president of any country would ever imagine doing that you see foreign soldiers on your soil, in your towns, in your villages, making demand, and you say you go into a country. For what reason? And nobody is telling us anything that is okay. That's a military junta here. When there's a military government, we saw what happened in the 80s. When there's a military government that runs on decrees, constitutions is being suspended. So everything they've done is strictly on military stuff. They set up military tribunals and all of that. The constitutions is silent, and that's how they operate. And that's how you see them doing. So I am not surprised. I am not caught in the middle of this. The guy we have in charge, he's not been making decisions. He's not addressing. All he was interested in get a budget and say, you know what, the money issue going to fill these guys out. They're going to, and Terry just quite correct. Throw down millions of dollars and they begin to ration a portion A. This is what the executive will get. This is what you will get when you come to this black. Just program A, where his how you call it, this, what is God name, this comedian type of hot here, where and going to free time and going to chill. You should be able to speak against that, and this is why you try to avoid. You're doing it on purpose because you know it's wrong, but you are unable to speak to that. And Jerry here coming, trying to sugarcoat and the government. Why can't you call your government up to the task? That Mr. President, you need to return home. There is nothing important that you are going to in Sierra Leone when you have foreign soldier. You as an expert, right? Guess what you're doing here? You are salad dressing it this evening because you and the liberal on purpose. He was very hesitant to have this conversation because he does not want the Liberian people to know. And this is how we're going to expose two of you here on a daily and nightly basis when we come on this network of you being biased and taking side and disadvantage, disproportionate news to the audience.
Thank you, Jared. Let me come to you. I know his statement, whatever it is. For me, they really don't go. They don't, because we flogged them the last time, and they're still crying. They're still reading from what we did to them. So everything they come out here, they will try to cascade on and whatever. But I'm not going to listen to it. He can say whatever you want to say. I won the election. He can go back and cry about election process, electional process. But I won the election. We're flogged down here. Now that they're seeking power again. They have no chance, no way, no pathway whatsoever to leadership. But then they will try to blame us, you and myself, the ends. We're just little ends in this whole gigantic, huge, bigly process, but he's gonna sit here on LPR and blame us every day and every night. So that it don't move me anymore. Jerry, let me come to you. We're talking national security issue here. You heard what Jerry, Mr. So, and I have talked about here. How you think this thing is playing in the international community with respect to national security of the Republic of Liberia?
First, thank you. When it comes to the eastern part of Liberia, it's an open border, and somehow we have said it, we have written about it, and every day we preach on it. That place is an open border, and the government have, even the past government, the only person that I can recall who did extremely well under his administration, it was the late Dole, because he had built a responding in Yekipa, not Yekipa, in Nima County, Grand Julia, and Sando. These are areas. Today, that's why I was just referring you to Mr. Johnson testimony at the place when they arrived in Nima. Up to this, what do we learn? What do we learn? Up to this, there's no policy put in place. But let me give you something. One of the interesting part we're under. Hey, I'm a former pilot. Okay, I flew plane here in the United States. And the first thing, international, before the plane is landed, you have to file your pre-plane flight to that country you are flying to. How the plane land into the country in RIA? Because let me go back a little bit. One of the problems we have on the Liberian aviation, our airport is not restricted. It's not restricted. That's one of the problems we have. We don't have a restriction airspace. It's an open airspace. So any plane can land in that country. By the time it could land, you should also have information on that plane. But the air, so we got a lot of work to do when it comes to security. And we put in the whole context. How can another plane land in that place and there was not a line to get it military ready, in readiness, where the plane coming from, how they land in that place, where they do. You want to tell me the plane land in Rawafi, which is about 35 miles outside Monrovia, and drove to Monrovia with no interception, partial frame? Then we got a problem if that is the truth. then we got problem in our country, which of course we do. But we have to be prepared, folks. I always say on the network, in order for you to make money, you got to spend money. We have to spend money to make sure our security is well trained. Our security, it is not how many we have, but we have to be professional. These are some of the things we need to start thinking, especially when it comes to Nimakande, Grand Gila, Sando, Maryland, all the area. And it is very alarming. The next thing I want to talk on here, the AFL. What is the lesson learned? During the war, during the Civil War, when it started first, when the rebel landed in Butuo, they would drive from Monrovia. Listen, I want you to listen very well. They would drive from Monrovia, all the way to Butuo. By the time they get to Butuo, it's compromised. You know how many hours it takes for you to reach Butuo? For resistance? So by the time they get to Butuo, the army, the AFL, they've been ambushed. And up to this time, we are not even put. What lesson have we learned to say, yes, this area, we have to fortify these places to be a rapid response in these places? The junta my brother talked about, Terry talked about, that's a military people. All right? Do we still have treaty with a new government? That's one of the questions. Or the individual that we talk about, whether he stay in custody. But let's see tomorrow Wednesday, let's see what it will say. What the judge will say. Whether the Liberian government will produce the living body of that Mr. Doe, John Doe. I don't know his name, so we'll call him John Doe. Whether they're producing John Doe. What the Minister of Defense have done. Just nothing has come out. The Minister of Defense said, ladies and gentlemen, member of the Republic of Liberia, this is what's going on. We can't give you detail. Just put in a context, this is what's going on. And this is the position of the Liberian government. Okay? Or the Minister of Justice. These are joint security. They have to say something to the Liberian people, rather than all speculation. And what there's a speculation, it creates chaos. And some of the people use the advantage to commit crime and all these things in the need of fear.
Yeah, I just want to point out information.
Yeah, go ahead, Terry. I was just coming to you anyway. Go ahead. Okay. Make your point, and then I'll ask you a question. Go ahead.
So I was reading just now, and I saw something very, very surprising. So we got only 2,000 military personnel in the country of a 42,000 square mile country. Guinea is a 94,000 square mile, and they have 13,000 military might. That is what we continue with. So my thing is, and since 2019, we have not been able to recruit military, people into the military. So all this money we just spending all over the place. What are we doing? What we're not thinking about our security? How we expect to survive? How we if something really break off and this thing turn into something else, how are we going to control it? How are we going to battle it? How are we going to make it? Meanwhile, people there running all over the place, eating millions of dollars. But we are not thinking about building our security might. Then what kind of country are we when we can't provide security for our own people? Because if we got only 2,000 military men in the country, how are you going to manage to secure your borders? Like what Mr. Bacon is saying. How are we going to manage to do that, labor?
Let me come to that, Mr. I know
Go
Mr.
ahead, Jerry.
Mr. So going to come in. You see, we have to make it lucrative. When I say make it lucrative, I mean that we, money. Let me put it another word. We got to make it attractive for us to get people to, got to make it attractive for people to enlist in the army, because our army is not a draft or our immigration or police. These are volunteer people. But we got to make it lucrative. Here we are. The Sawyer wife demonstrated on Armed Forces Day that their spouses are not taking pay. But if we make it lucrative, in a sense that if you serve in the army, it will make it professional. Because you myself in the country, guess what? If you go on the plane tonight, so long you are in the military, you will be the first to get on that plane. If you go into school, they give you free education tuition because you know why you are serving in the military. You got hospital. So these are lucrative, something that will make the people to be attracted to the profession. Until we can make these things to the profession, people retire. There's no benefit. So it's an uphill battle. We have to have a vision where we want to carry the military to be our security people to have such or lucrative. When I talk about lucrative or benefit, let me forget about lucrative benefit to make it beneficial to these people, because the military man who you say he should protect you. In fact, the military is a defense of the nation. Every defense of the nation. That's now when it comes to communication. Even somebody in Grand they can even call Morovia because these are not effective. Or somebody in Sano, or somebody in Kipamers, somebody in what the plane is there, Grand Crew. Eh? So we have some deficiencies within our security, and we need to. We sure we do. Let's admit there's nothing to sugarcoat here. We got some deficiencies, and we have to improve, especially in the 21st century. I don't even look at the budget yet, but I know how much is a different budget. Let me go further a little bit. I know somebody was breaking one time. We gave the police people $10 million. You talk about $10 million? $10 million for the police department? And you know how much it costs to address one police officer? $150,000 in the modern world. $150,000. And you're going to say, you, as an official of government, you're going to be bragging that you gave police $10 million. Is this for the budget for operation or for salary? So, folks, it is time for us to start thinking how best we can do for our security. Right now, our security is very fragile.
Thank you. So let me come back to you, Terry, before I go to Mr. So. And I think you lay out correctly here. Let me just go back to Mr. So, since you're already giving us a lengthy information here. And as I was listening to you, Terry, I became feeling sad because I don't know what went wrong. When we came from the war, Liberians and the country itself were yearning for good leadership. We're yearning for people to come and truly establish the rule of law. And I believe if we have done that, but when I was not in Accra, but I was on the phone daily because my brother was in Accra. I was on the phone later because because of our own involvement. So he was telling me how people were already in Accra. They were selling positions. The warring faction was selling positions, and so then the question my brother was asking me was, why did I even bother to take off job, to take off and pay all that money to come over here, stay in a hotel, all that kind of stuff? So I said, why don't you say I can't come back now? And so for some reason, these people came to a place there, and they decided to forget about what happened in the war and just decided to enrich themselves and not thinking about the future. Fair. It's a transitional government. They can do whatever they want to do. But then we have an legitimately elected government. And things just went worse. And nothing you can point to say, well, perhaps the President Sali took us from a position of dilapidated building and of road crumbling infrastructure and tried to build a little bit and even have the World Bank to forgive our debt and what have you. But that was it. After that, everything started going downhill. And all of the two successive governments that came, They look at our government as a yardstick. So right now, if Guinea and this guy is not playing around, if the guy have not turned that guy over, what if they decide to attack? Who do you have? You're not gonna have ECHO to come and fight for you. You don't have no more
So
ECHO more.
yeah.
So
So let me just
go ahead, Terry. Go ahead, Terry. I
quick
can go to-
information, labor to add to that. In 1985, right, President those time, Liberia has 6,800 military fighting men. In 1989, 7,000. And then we went up to, 22,000. But then it started to drop when Ellen became president. That was when the reshuffling of the army. In 2005, 2006, 2005 we have 15,000, but 2006, when the reshuffle, it came down to 2,000. From that time onward now, we are now up to 2020. We are now being able to change this. The number have not increased. It's just been 2,000 max minimum. So that tells you this is where we are, and that the government for over the last 21 years have not been able to increase that number. That is very sad. And think about how much money the country have generated. And that this is just the military history of
No,
Liberia.
but thank you, Terry. To be honest with you, if I was young, which I'm still am, and if I was to be asked to serve in the military of Republic of Liberia to protect people who continue to steal and disregard the living condition of our brothers and sisters that are serving us, I will not serve. A few days ago, I was just thinking about it. What if I'm going to ask my son, the two of my son, I say, you guys done your best in the American Army, American Marine, and things. Let go yourself. Yeah, but why coming to send my children over there to do what? This is just ridiculous. So let me come to you, Mr. So. I know you're getting ready to put line in my tea again this evening, but that's okay. We're here. Go ahead. Let's hear from you, sir. I mean, we'll walk into this thing, and we do not mind being lectured at this time. Go ahead.
Yeah, just from what Terry's saying, and even back, I mean, I'm an honest guy. When you guys say it in a very authentic fashion, I will agree with you. I will call, but when you want to be doing benting to submit budget places where you got nothing to go in, they're going to fall apart. But I mean, that is, what is the mentality, and I think Helen Johnson Sirleaf, I think it was this sort of thing that it built within the ECOWAS people that came to, help, and how fragile the country was. They felt the military was a problem. There were potential a probability of maybe coup taking place. So what it did, they significantly downsized the military without even making a provision to say, oh, this is how you call it, a sovereign nation. And even if you downsize the military force, what becomes of the paramilitary institution like the police? That police number should also be, the police, they don't even reach 7,000. We have seen here how violence been going all over the country. And after a war that fought for all of these years, the probabilities of violence being at the highest high is most likely because the Helen Johnson Sirleaf government and that of Joseph Boyka, who were then vice president, millions of dollars from the international community were given to these people to demobilize, rehabilitation. You will never see anything being pointed out visually to see or tell you this is the number of people that were demobilized or benefited from this demobilization process, which millions of dollars were pumped in by the international community. And they can't tell you anything. And nobody is asking that question. George Weah did not ask the outgoing Unity Party government what happens, how far we stop with the demobilization process, who benefited, who are those on treatment plan, What is the integration process? Nothing like that. But guess what? You saw lawmakers coming to America, coming, going other places, carrying bare box mattresses, and they just think by just putting roof over somebody's head, take them from in the street, give them food, eat, and then they go back. That's just all. You're not even helping. It is a long process to heal. You need psychiatry, you need clinicians, you need counselors, you need these people. They need to go through rehabilitation. And the government is not directing the resources in those places. Instead, lawmakers are the one that are becoming to be like a building rehabilitation institution. What happens tomorrow if you are no longer a senator or no longer a representative? And this is why the international community are not coming in, because these are all politically driven. But when you have, like we had Ralphie Howard, we had a Catherine Remil Rehabilitation Center, right? It's a standing government rehab center. Those things, such an institution can be supported by the international community, NGOs, UN branches. You had a better yellow wasting the wide, good some money can be pumped there. You make it to a big vocational center, because after war, the thing that you want to do is to have to build a vocational minds. That is, people get vocational institution so that it will be handy. They will be able to get work, do things for themselves to get money. Nothing. Police was not increased. Some county, they don't, I bet they might not even have one patrol car every, or they have car, they only one car or motorbike. So how do you expect?
Seriously.
Those days, I remember in the area of Ghana that they have these detachments, everything, communication, everything were working. If there was anything within the Ghana area, they have a group there that will respond if they need a backup. People will come from headquarters and all of that. But nowadays, people gotta come from headquarters before they go to Ghana. So if your horse were on a tie, when somebody will leave from Capitol Hill to come to Ghana Devil Bridge, you'll be dead. And it is sad that we have government people who are working in government and people who came to be the Messiah to do to redeem people, to bring this sort of so-called transformation trumpet that they were blowing all around. They have come and turned the whole wheel around, and nobody is questioning it. And part of that, we in the media industry, like you, the liberal progressive, and many of your friends, these empire media outlet, you people are responsible because you never created a talking point to ask these people of their specific agenda. Instead, you took the bullhorn and you were blowing it that everything going to be okay, everything going to be fake. Now you come back here crying like a little chihuahua, and you want to act like you are not part of the problem. Indeed, you are part of the problem because you did not do your due diligence. You did not ask these people questions. You did not create the narrative for us to have a critical conversation about these people. And you come back here, and so you people are embarrassed. You people are shamed because you disadvantage people from knowing the truth or making informed decision. I am vindicated because I was always speaking my mind here. I was questioning what you people were doing, but you was not giving us chance. You were calling out names that were hateful. And so here we are. You need to find the solution to this problem because you are one of the creators of the problem. So don't come out like you're not part of this process. You still have the age on your side. Go join the police in Liberia.
Jerry, thank you, Mr. So. Thank you again. Like I said, the anger is still shiny.
And by the way, 1 second, please. By the way, I don't know. This is not an election thing. I never had a fish to fry in this thing. So I don't know why you're inciting election, who win, who lost. How many months today after the election that we are having this chaotic situation for which we are so proud to be seeing what we are saying?
Again, folks, Samson to Labra Public Radio. Thank you, Mr. So. Like I said, we won, and there's nothing you can do to change that situation. We flock you big time. So we feel for you. We feel for you. Jerry, folks, the number is out there. Give us a call here, 916-533-2048. Jerry, let me come to you on this issue here as we're waiting for a call. Oh, Okay, we'll go over maybe by 5 minutes. Jerry, give us your point, and then we'll start wrapping. I forgot the time almost over. Mr.
You
So
know,
took all of our time.
yeah,
He got on here and started dressing everything, talking
you know,
almost 15 minutes.
the
Go ahead,
C,
Jerry.
the CEO, he even know whether he dancing with his left foot or he dancing with his left foot. So he even know which foot he dancing with. But
Jerry, let me take this call, and that person I will tell him to hurry up because I got Chinese phone. Caller, what's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind? I will not call you anywhere. Go ahead.
It's all right. The celebrity, you won't call my name. That's all right. I still love you. Even though you're a punky pan, we ain't got no punky pan girl. We ain't got nowhere to throw you. You better, and you how you call it, greasy, but you better anyway. No, but on a serious note, Mr. Toe and hi to
That me, you calling Pokemon God?
Pokemon God, you better to eat and you too greasy to throw away.
Okay. Go ahead.
So no, on a serious note, look,
hold on, Walter. Let me merge this caller, please. Just hold on. Okay. Hold on. Okay, caller. Just hold on. Let Walter wrap it up, and we'll come to you. Go ahead, Walter. Go ahead.
So on a serious note, I think successive government has, they have failed the Liberian people, and like as
Labor, you meet her.
we can hear you.
Okay. Oh man. The other one here.
You back on? Okay.
Yeah, Walter. Let me call Walter because then I'll call the other caller here. You're giving me okay. Let me call Walter Carter. Let him wrap. Okay. Caller will come to you. Let me call Walter Carter because when you came in, yeah. Okay, hold on 1 minute. They're calling back. Hold on 1 minute. You'll be the last one if I merge you correctly. And I will, okay. So hold on, guys. Let me put Walter Carter back on there, and let him finish his point, and we'll come right to you as you come in. Please, just bear with us. Just bear with us. Okay, hold on. Walter, just make it brief. We got other people on the line. Please make it brief. Go ahead.
Yeah, so as I was saying, it's important to discuss issue, and I like what Mr. So said. You as a person, you are seeing Liberia, fall into trouble many times. And as a media person right now that disseminating information to our people, it's about time that we call a spade and look at the country holistically and say, we can do better. It's unfortunate for a society that did not, after the Civil War, did not invest in our people, our human capital, to the extent where today we invest into politicians that are making themselves rich all the time at the expense of the ordinary people. But we who sit on the social media abroad, we support them. And when they fail us, we come back, we support another one. They fail us, it's like we continue to hit rock bottom. We're all knowing that we're hitting rock bottom. And that's the sad thing that breaks my heart.
Thank you.
Is it can have a politician who comes to office with $3.50 at the end of the year, almost $1 million a year.
Thank you.
You cannot support the security that protects the country. You cannot support police. You cannot support the military. You cannot, and then we still support these people. And how our country going to progress?
Thank you.
The problem is with us. It's not with them. It's with us. Every time it's the one that make our country to look the way it
Thank you, Walter. Thank you for your comment. That is on point. You're not speaking like sedition tonight. You're really speaking like a Liberian, but patriot Liberian. Okay, let me go on to the next caller. Caller, 214 number 214. You're next in line. Go ahead.
Mr. Pro, how you doing?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Mr. Pro, last week when Magical, the other guy and the same normal guy that joined the majority group went to the Capitol building last week and began to break into. I said it last week on the show that for Natico, I got to be careful because these guys from CDC are very corny. Let them use that letter to make Fonati Kofa to look up. You see, 2 persons came from CDC camp today had joined the majority group. So I did creating all the gap to make Fonati, to destroy a political area. So I don't see the reason why thing is going on like that, because if we want to speak about rule of law, to me, for that chief is on a right path. People are telling you that, the number is increasing, you should resign. Why is the reason being resigning from a position? So whatsoever that is stand the ground until the law can be the law. And if you're reason for it now, we will give it the chief for them to take over. But in the meantime, there's a political strategy that both CDC and everybody are using to put fear in their God. And for that team, 43 battles, that means 3 battles. One for CDC, one for the other party, and one for the independent camp. Because for that team, he said that liaison with Ben Nigeria. So it's not making CDC to feel so good about for that team movement. And the issue about this guy from Guinea, what you are discussing, listen to the press conference or the press conference for the information minister today. He said they are already turning men over to the 2 men. I don't know one or 2 men. They're already turning over to the Guinea government. So where are we going? So that means the Guinea will bring that 395 in our country. They fear back on start turning people over. It's very sad. So Mr. Barker discussing the security issue, we all got to pray for our country, because we all are saying that what the men that we had to do tomorrow in Guinea to say that they are attacking our border. Thank you for the show.
Thank you. All right, guys, one more call here. Let me, caller, are you there? Oh, okay, let me get the last caller call here. Let me call him, and then we'll come to you for you guys to give us your wrapping. We'll be about 5 or 10 minutes over tonight.
Yes.
Yeah. Good evening, sir. What's your name? Where you're calling from? Are you calling to talk about Liberal Public Radio?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. How you doing, Brother Samson, too?
Okay.
And the rest of the panelists on the panel this night.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What's your name? What's your name? What's your name?
I just wanted to weigh in a little bit concerning our situation.
Okay. Go ahead.
The situation in Liberia is sad.
Are you there?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm Saturday. I'm Saturday.
Okay. Yeah, Saturday. You're Lati. Yes. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. What I said, the situation in Liberia is sad. According to one of the things that I want to talk on quick is the security issue. For people, let's say, government official, instead of the security apparatus with all the money that they are making, you get senators and representatives making all those money, and the military is right here.
Okay. You're dying. Yeah. Go ahead.
And you think that the neighboring country will not take advantage of us? That they already know our weak point. The country we are into.
All right, your Chinese phone is dying. Your Chinese phone is going bad Saturday.
My phone is that Chinese. I'm sorry. And we have to upgrade the winning phone, the military or police. Now, lastly, let me just make it quick.
Yeah, please.
Concerning the removal of Kofa, the president of Liberia is in the loop. He is
he just throw stone and cut his head. Because what I have seen, if you are not,
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
You're muted. You're muted.
All right, guys. Let's wrap it up. Let's start with you, Terry. Give us your closing 1 minute, please.
Yeah, thank you, Libra. I think Honorable Fanatic Kofa has some options here that he could look at, and I think it's two options from my opinion and my observation is that he could go to court, and I think that is what he's gonna do. To if he decide to hold on now, he can go to court and hope that the court rule in his favor. And when that happens, he can generate public sentiment, and then he can use public sentiment to raise a protest against the majority black. Or, but it depends if his political parties are willing to work with him to get that protest off the ground to help to put pressure on the majority black. Maybe it might work. But normally in a democratic process like Liberia, those kind of things always feel on the arrival because like right now, there is a complete divided opinion. I'm seeing since the president submitted the budget to the majority black, there are people who are for Fanatic Kofa, they're now switching, especially those who are supporting the president. Lastly, also, he got a second option by the legislature not concurring to in agreement with the committee on the budget, the new committee of the majority black. I don't know, the Senate could refuse to do business with them or to acknowledge their existence. All right. And maybe that will help. But other than that, I don't see nothing else he can do. And if he get that in his position, in his corner, maybe it could sustain him long enough to keep fighting. But how long will it be? You got gullible people in the Senate who only looking for money right now. They are desperate, looking for Christmas money. They're looking for New Year money. All right. Then we got the State of the Nation address coming up in January. Very close.
That's going to be very interesting.
Yeah. So, and and I know the president will go to the majority black to address the nation. That is what is going to happen. So, but however, this is where the honorable man is between a rock and a hard place. And in my opinion, to save yourself all the havoc and the stress, because I know for Nati is stressed. The other day I saw him, talking to security. You can see the stress in the man, that he is stressed. So save yourself all the headache, and because you can't fight the government. Those people, all of them have complied. The lower house, the upper house, the Senate. You can't depend on the Senate. I was looking at Honorable Director on something. He's not even discussing it anymore. You're not talking about what go on in the lower house now. They all shut down on it completely. So sooner or later, they're going to be discussing the budget. The whole next week is going to be the budget. The honorable man is going to be forgotten.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jerry, let me ask you this. You care if you want to go and then the CEO can close it, or you want to throw your
it doesn't matter. I give you the opportunity. Then you go ahead and talk. I give you the opportunity. Go ahead, Honorable CEO.
All right. CEO, the co-host giving you the opportunity. Go ahead.
That's the Israeli.
These little tricks would not work. Trying to find a way that you and Jerry would just close the deal up, but it doesn't matter. So, put it to Jerry. Jerry put it this way. It's up to you. Look,
So why you put him in the box?
Not me. He put himself there. Maybe he gone drink cold soup. He checking his soup to see what I now putting in the fire. Look, but just late this evening, I chatted with two of the two lawmakers, specifically from the Kofa side. And I tell you, they were kind of like downhearted. But I think you make a good guess, and this is what Kofa is looking for, because ultimately it's gonna end in court. Because what these guys they are acting onto, you can clearly see the desperation in them. Um, the Labrador investigators and his others spoken. Yeah, this is the lead news beat here. House Majority Bloc hijacking the draft national budget.
Wow.
Now, yeah.
That's a hell.
House Majority Bloc hijacking the draft national budget. The speaker has not been removed.
What newspaper are you quoting now?
The investigator.
I said the investigator. It's one of the credible news with Leonard Dodo, formerly the new bureau desk front page, running this very credible, fair balance. Not like this one you people do. You want to listen to certain people. No. So yeah, what's going to happen ultimately? It's not over yet because I've been seeing the writing from the Senate side. Other few people too who feels Senator Chie. And there are others. The Senate, that's a very different area there. But I believe ultimately at the end of the day, Kofa wants to be on the side of history. This is all part of the preparation. If he resigns at this point in time, is that then going to be like a clear indications of people who can stand the test of time, who can abandon their country in time of crisis. And he's on the side of the law. When you are on the side of the law, you don't really need to fear anything. And he was very vehement in that process. He said, hey, get your 49, I will pack. But he is playing by the rules of the game. On the book, it says 49. Now, it's the action of these people, why the speaker, there's still a speaker. And this is what I want to see you and Jerry back on here this event, your honesty to put you to test to. You still have a certain speaker. They have not reached the number 49. And even if the speaker is to be removed, it has to be done in chambers, in joint chambers. It has to be done in chambers. Now people staying to some kind of hotel, having next time drinking club beer and this and that. And guess what they're doing? They're suspending and constituting committee. Amen. Unity Party, Joseph Boyka. Amen. 40 years of experience. 2 times vice president. Minister of Agriculture, no fool.
Thank you.
Come. I'm finished.
Oh, you finished here? You're not coming to consult address that your CDC talking point here, not working here tonight.
Yeah, CDC talking point. No, man. Look, this is really, but that country there, I don't know. Honestly, I don't think you down there, deep down your heart, and this guy who holding his jaw like he having 2A is not 2A, but he himself disappointed. But I know how it looks like when you for a side, and this side is kind of like really making you to be embarrassed. It's difficult to stand. But guys, thank you so much. Tomorrow we're gonna be here.
We're all gonna be here.
What?
We're all gonna be here tomorrow night.
That's what I'm saying. So we're gonna be here, but there's gonna be adjustment because we have a special guest. So and they choose to come on 10 o'clock. It's some sort of on Bishop Mason. There's a big program in Philadelphia. We're gonna be talking to them. They come on 10 o'clock. So I'm thinking
10 in the morning.
I say 10 p.m. So we will start maybe by 8:30, 10 o'clock. Done with you guys.
So you had a good program there on Sunday, man.
No, yeah, but I beg you, I don't want to. Don't talk about a program. I don't want to talk about it right now on my show.
Is the Ome? Which one? Is it Sunday? Or you mean they are with the doctor?
Yeah, with the doctor.
Yeah, we're working on slaughter. I think you the only person maybe will work out into being an contributor. Jerry and
no, maybe Dr. Mali come to the other day. The trouble you put me here when I see here, you almost beat me on the show.
He said
on labor show.
Dr. Mali, I'm currently reviewing his attitude. I think he's something like a socially.
He coming fire calls again.
Yeah, I come in saying over to you and
You
Jerry
put me
Bako.
in that chamber with Dr. Bali.
Yeah.
So
All right,
are you saying
fire.
wait a minute? Are you saying you're gonna
Now your
exercise?
business. If I fire him, then I your business. So
Are you
wait until you get fire.
are you
All
saying
right.
you're gonna exercise us tomorrow?
Don't
Because
come.
you're gonna
No,
exercise us tomorrow because you bring a special guest. So that's what you're saying.
no, that's not what I'm saying. I said we're gonna have our program. I'm not like the liberal. No matter what, like I said here, there's no bad boy for a child. That how you guys are, you're always ridiculous, but we'll continue to keep you people here until you get it. So you guys will gonna come on maybe by 8:30 or something or through a message. But what I'm saying for them, they will be available by 10 o'clock. So we're still gonna have your conversation. Don't worry, I'm
Thank
not
you.
like liberal.
10 o'clock, that's 7. That's when we get off anyway. No big deal. We'll be fine. Jared, go ahead. Give us your closing, please.
10 p.m.
All seriousness, the security issue in Liberia is very fragile, and it's something for us to speak to the truth. We need to address that security issues in our country. It is not a joke. It is not a play toy. Snake is not a pet. So we have learned a lesson. What happened in a few days, I hope we can ratify it. And it is about time for us to start doing research and get through some analysis. And those who are in power, from the Ministry of Defense to the Liberian Aviation Authority, it's frustrating to see one of the oldest countries of all to be where it is, especially when it comes to security, because the Liberian National Police were founded, 1925, if I'm not mistaken, yes, on a CDB King. And to be where we are, folks, I mean, we are in 21st century. We have people who are serving the country, those who have experience. We need to recruit people from all walks of life. And I think that's the only recommendation I can make, because the way it is going, it is very troublesome when it comes to our security. It's very troublesome. We are not prepared. We are not prepared. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jared. Thank you, guys.
Yes,
I want to say here quickly, I think all of us that love Liberia need to pray. There's some news that are coming from Liberia that perhaps are not conducive to tell you the truth. Let's continue to pray because there are people, whether be in lawmaking, whether be whatever, there are some people want to come through these positions through the back door. And let's continue to pray for our country. That's all that I can say for that right now. God is in complete control.
Before we go, liberal, I meant to put this in.
Go ahead,
Prayer Brown Boo.
The what? Terry, I can't hear you.
You not hearing me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Prayer Brown Boo was a counselor on the TRC program, and she said she was part of those who wrote the 1986 Constitution.
Okay.
And she said that when they wrote the 1986 Constitution, when they put that the presiding officer, she said it's specifically in reference to the speaker. So she called today on the OKFN and she gave that clarity that the majority black is in error. I just wanted to put that there, but with allowing me
These people, Terry, the liberal and Jerry Bako, they know about that. They know they come here and play hypocrisy.
You know what? I'm not even going. Look, listen. I'm not going to.
Jerry, the show over. Lead it, man. Let him talk.
With allowing me
listen, I'm not even going to thing. I'm not even going to. I'm not going to dignify it. Dignify it. Listen, the majority bloc is saying yes.
Is there anything in our constitution called majority bloc?
Tomorrow.
Let's be honest here. Is there anything called majority bloc? You have these looters just come and cause chaos and facilitated by Joseph Boyka.
Okay. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you very much. Mr. So, thank you. Good night. Where is he? Mr. So, thank you. Good night. Yeah, Jerry, Thank you, my brother. Thank you very much for your contribution again tonight. We appreciate it. Thank you very much, Jerry. Thank you as well. As
Thank
usual,
you.
you did a wonderful job tonight to educate this renegade we have here. Thank you very much.
Oh,
I hope
you really? I am.
Ingo, yeah.
Wow. Cut on tape. Liberal, I'm gonna play this trivia tomorrow. Let people see who you guys are. Baba, I'm a renegade man. Okay.
You know what? Revenge not yourself.
For me, I can revenge you. I'm an Israeli. I will revenge.
All
right, guys.
care,
Jerry, thank you very much. Again, folks, Samson told Labropa Radio. I want to thank all of you again for tuning in tonight. It's been a wonderful, wonderful show. Thank you very much for all of your writing. Lion, Daddy Lion, sorry, we weren't able to pick up your phone because I think my phone was giving me Chinese. That's a Chinese phone. You're quite correct. But I want to thank all of you again. Let's tune in tomorrow for Mr. Soul Show, where we'll have fun as well. One last thing I want to leave with you. Folks, from information that we're getting, Liberia is in serious trouble. The politicians, they have not failed yet, but they are in the process. If we pray, we might be able to redeem Liberia. And whatever we do, violence is not the answer. Violence is not the answer. So let's continue to pray for one another, and let's continue. Fatima, thank you very much, my sister. Wow. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm going to one of these days, I will find some pictures of some of our supporters and just put them together and play here, because these people are very strong supporters, and we have to showcase them here as well. Thank you guys for your support. Thank you very much. Okay, Clarence, thank you, my brother. Thank you very much for your contribution again tonight. Again, folks, Samson told Liberia Public Radio. It's been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Tuesday afternoon. Thank you. We'll be back here again. Conversation with Samson told will be back on Thursday, actually. Wednesday, let's tune into Mr. Social. With that, I will say good night to all of you. It's been a wonderful night. Good night, folks.
Ateito nalukio na kati ya Kinshasa bobi mama na bani na